Hello, I'm Simon Molster and I've been selling properties in the Alps for over 35 years. We are up to date with what's going on in terms of the laws and the rules and the regulations. A lot of people are asking us now about something which seems to be quite new, and it's called properties which are available with a flexible rental obligation. So I'm going to explain briefly the difference between the different types of properties which are available. There are four types. They are first home, second home, flexible rental obligation, and fully managed rental properties. The first home are obvious. Those are really for locals. It's for people who are living in the resort, paying their taxes in the resort, and it's for Swiss people living here. One thing which has changed recently, in some resorts, the rules are always different, but here in Saas-Fee, they are first home forever. So you cannot buy a first home and hope to change it into something else. Second homes are the majority of the resales that we have and most of the properties which are available. And those are holiday homes, or you could be living in them full time if you want, but not your first home. You can rent them, you can leave them empty, it's up to you. They are completely flexible. The next category are flexible rental obligation properties. This is kind of a new category which came out of what's been going on, which is to change the rules to stop cold beds. Resorts don't want properties left empty for many weeks of the year. They want them to be used. The idea of the flexible rental obligation property is that it must be available to rent when you're not using it. People often get tripped up about how many weeks they can use and what are the rules and regulations. It's actually quite flexible because the commune locally here in Saas-Fee and in other parts of Switzerland, they've realized it doesn't make much difference whether you are staying there or you have rented it to me and I'm staying there, as long as someone is staying there. So there are parameters, there are rules, but they work for a lot of people. Most people know pretty much when they're going to be coming to take their holidays in the Alps, and these are flexible for a reason. It's also flexible because you can choose your own rental agent. If you're unhappy with the agent that you've chosen, you can choose another, so you can have control over your own destiny. The last type are properties which are fully rentally managed and controlled by a bigger touristic setup. So these are usually large developments, often with a hotel as the central core of it, with a pool, a wellness and other facilities. It would be impossible in a situation like that to let everybody choose their own rental agency, so the management company manages everything for everybody. You don't have a choice. But again, it is very flexible. You have a certain number of weeks you can use, you can block out weeks in advance. If it's not being used at the last minute, you can go. It is a flexible arrangement on the same basis that everybody wants to see the property used as much as possible. So those are the four types, and we're seeing more now of the third and fourth types. That's the flexible rental obligation and the fully managed properties, as it's now impossible to build new second home properties. That's a result of the Weber law over 10 years ago, and we're now seeing the effects. So we're seeing much greater take up for these flexible rental and fully managed properties. And I'm going to give you some examples later of some properties that we have which are in those categories.